Hey, how's it going, guys? So, welcome back, and this is it. This is the final Clone Wars review. Yeah, if you know, um, you know. But basically, for today's episode or for today's season review, we're of course going to talk about season 6 of the Clone Wars, aka the Lost Seasons. Of course, if you know your Star Wars, of course, the cancellation of the Clone Wars is a part of the whole, Disney, I guess we should say, takeover. And, by that, of course, I do, I, of course, mean that, right after basically Disney bought Star Wars, they just basically just outright canceled a whole lot of projects, and of course, that includes the Clone Wars. And, there's a, and, the interesting thing about this whole situation is that really, hell, a lot of, Star Wars fans have been unable to just watch any new modern Star Wars just because of how should I say this? Basically, as soon as Disney took over, a lot of people just gave up on Star Wars. And as for me, I didn't really give up after the Disney buyout. As a matter of fact, when the new movies were coming out, Episode 7, Rogue One, that got me a little bit back into Star Wars. But in a weird sort of way, Disney has been, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's just, oh man, Disney, they're frustrating a lot. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. They do frustrate me a lot. Of course, when it comes to poor decision making and all this sort of crap. So, of course, when season 5 came out, and when the Ahsoka episode, or when the Ahsoka that last episode, with Ahsoka walking from the Jedi Temple and Anakin looking on, a lot of people, hey, thought, oh, wow, that was going to be the end. That would be the end of the Clone Wars. And so that's not really entirely the case. Instead, on Netflix, what we got instead was The Lost Missions. And actually, fun fact, The Lost Missions is actually the first Clone Wars season that I actually started watching, because I need to talk about this again. But I basically need to just say this about the about my watch view. And sorry, just I have my notes here, and people are just texting me. So wow, this is a really good time to be texting with. But anyways, so as I was stating before, so I started off with season 6 because that has the least amount of episodes, which this season only has 13 episodes, which, hell, it's kind of funny because season 7 only has 12 episodes. So damn, so season 7 is the shortest is the shortest Clone Wars season, which I find to be, it's pretty interesting. I gotta say so. But anyways, with that being said in mind, though, let's get into it. So, the first arcs we're gonna talk about is, of course, this is another one of my favorite arcs from the show, and that is the Fives arc. Of course, this is the infamous arc where Order 66 is properly explained, and basically the reason why it's explaining as to why the clones turned on the Jedi. Because while in the expanded universe material, the clones were very, they were very, the normal clones, such as, I don't know, like, hell, imagine that 501st Trooper right there. Like, he's in the corner right there. But basically, the whole point in the expanded universe was the clones, the normal regular clones who weren't commanders or ARC troopers, they weren't really given that much. They weren't really, they didn't really have their unique personalities and whatnot, sort of have you. And so, and of course, they were very loyal to, of course, the Republic and all that sort of stuff. And when they executed Order 66, it's like, okay, boom, you're dead. And whatnot, sort of have you. And besides, there's also some stories in the expanded universe or in Legends where there's a lot of clones that hated the Jedi because, because the Jedi had no experience in commanding armies. and so they would lead a lot of their brothers to death and whatnot, sort of have you, you know. And here, of course, in the Clone Wars, all the clones were given an individual identity, and of course, you know, how in this, but of course here, they're stripped away from that and all that sort of stuff. It's just, damn, it's really, really upsetting, you know, and all that sort of stuff. And of course, you know, Fives, hell, he was the only one who knew about it. And damn, you know, I love Fives. This arc was just immediately made me love Fives. And now, hell, I'm a big Five, you know, Fives is my favorite clone trooper, you know, and these episodes, you know, damn, they're just really, really good. And hell, this arc is very important because it's referenced so, you know, many times throughout throughout the latter half of the Clone Wars. You know, and hell, when we even get to Bad Batch a little bit, it is referenced, of course, a little bit too. Of course, you know, in that show, they're trying to get rid of the inhibitor chips and whatnot, sort of have you. Now, I'm actually going to go right through these arcs very quickly. The last political arc is the Clovis Arc, you know, which is an old friend, The Rise of Clovis, Crisis at the Heart. These were pretty, you know, okay sort of episodes, you know, and all that sort of stuff. Out of all the political episodes, these weren't the best ones, I'll be really honest. Of course, you know, this is the infamous arc where Clovis tries to give a kissy to Padme, and of course Anakin just comes in and just absolutely beats the crap out of them. And, damn, just, I mean, this is another reason why I love the Clone Wars, just because they just go so out of the way. And the last one is the Disappearing arc. It's a team-up buddy cop movie with Mace Windu and Jar Jar Binks, and it's so ironic because, like, I have both of them up there in the shelf. You know, they're Black Series figures, but it's Jar Jar and Mace Windu, like, as a dynamic duo. Like, what the hell? Okay, so now the last arc I'm going to be talking about is the Yoda arc. Of course, this is the arc where Yoda basically goes a little bit on a spiritual sort of quest or adventure. Of course, the voice of Qui-Gon Jinn is talking to him. And, of course, this is basically where Yoda learns how, you know, and, of course, Return of the Jedi, how he transfers, you know, basically his mind, his consciousness, you know, basically back into, you know, the Force. And, damn, this arc is... It really is one of the best arcs in the Clone Wars. And, you know, also, you know, thinking about it really now, I really do want more stories with Yoda now, you know, while watching that arc. Because, damn, that's probably one of the best Yoda stories out there, you know, at least in animated form, you know. So, definitely, it kind of sparks my curiosity for more solo stories about Yoda. And, hell, maybe... You know what? Maybe there could be a little one-shot, maybe a little episode, or, you know, a little long-shot, one-shot sort of mini-series where it's just Yoda on Dagobah and all that sort of stuff. And, yeah, kind of like an Obi-Wan Kenobi series, maybe in a way. But, I don't know, a lot of people are asking for a Kenobi series. And, of course, because they want Ewan McGregor back. But, I mean, hey, we should get Yoda and Frank Oz a little bit of some... we should give them a little bit of some, of course, you know, spotlight, I guess we should say. And, you know, this arc, you know, it's foreshadowing Revenge of the Sith, of course, you know, the visions that Yoda's having, and of course, you know, Anakin cutting off Dooku's head, which is just a Force vision. Of course, Yoda fighting Sidious, and this was technically the final Clone Wars episode. And as a finale, I gotta really say that, you know, at the end, you know, it's really just a bittersweet moment. You know, and it's kind of just like, you know, like, I don't know, it does give off a really hopeful message. And while watching it, I'm just like, damn, like, this was the end to the Clone Wars. This was back in 2014, you know? And basically, straight afterwards, we got, basically, X, no Clone Wars, you know? And basically, Disney just arrived and basically just say, here you go. Here's our little Rebels show. Like it or not, like, I don't know, just... I mean, now, of course, I'm going to be talking about Rebels next, which is going to be a very sort of, unfortunately, it's again going to be sort of a negative sort of video because I have a few problems with Star Wars Rebels. But the one thing I will definitely certain will say is that Rebels was just a big downgrade from Clone Wars, in my opinion. And once again, I'll get more in my depth and thoughts onto Rebels. And once again, like I said before, it might actually be multiple parts. I'm just gonna be really honest with you, just so I could get my full thoughts on out there. Because I'm not gonna do individual seasons. I'm not gonna talk about all 4 seasons individually. I instead want to just talk all my thoughts, but probably gonna be in multiple parts. So that's it. That's my review of the whole entire Clone Wars series. And of course, by all my praises and criticisms towards the Clone Wars, in the end of the day, I really love this series a lot. And it really is just... This is basically the remainder of George Lucas's legacy on Star Wars. And I don't know, it's just Star Wars just really hasn't been the same. We've had a lot of big umps, we had a lot of big highs. Of course, in the Disney era, if you ask me, it's definitely Luke Skywalker's return on The Mandalorian. And, I don't know. Maybe these live-action shows can do something even bigger. Hopefully they can. But, anyways, guys, that's just all I gotta say. Maybe I'll make one more Clone Wars video. Maybe I will. I'm not so sure. Maybe I'll talk about some of the arcs that didn't make it to Clone Wars Season 7. Maybe that's probably going to be maybe the next Clone Wars video. But anyways, though, thank you for all watching this video. And we'll see you in the next one. So see you guys later.